So the first example I am going to consider is this. So what we are understanding is how to prove the limit of a function using definition, that is using epsilon delta method. So the first example, I am taking the simplest one. The problem is prove that limit x tends to 2, 2x plus 3 is equal to 7. So we are required to prove that the limit of the given function here is 7. First of all, note that here the given function is fx is equal to 2x plus 3. The point at which we want the limit, that is a is equal to 2, and the value of the limit given here is 7. Okay, and we want to check whether that condition, epsilon delta condition, is satisfied or not. So what is the definition of limit of function? We know given an epsilon, we have to find some delta such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a is less than delta, implies mod of fx minus l is less than epsilon. So let us begin by taking epsilon greater than 0 be given. That epsilon greater than 0 be given. What is our aim? We want to find delta greater than 0 such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a, what is a here? A is equal to 2, is less than delta. Whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a is less than delta, implies we must have fx minus l, that is 7, is less than epsilon. So this is our aim. Okay, so you must concentrate on this expression fx minus 7 and try to make it less than epsilon for whenever this condition is satisfied for some value of delta. So what should be the delta that whenever you take any x which satisfies this condition, then fx minus 7, the distance between fx and 7, or the difference between fx and 7, is less than any given epsilon. That epsilon is given by the third person, anybody else. So let us consider mod of fx minus 7, that is fx minus l. You know what is fx? Here fx is the function 2x plus 3 and minus 7. Okay, 2x plus 3 minus 7. If you simplify this, we get 2x minus 4. Remember one thing, that we want to make mod of fx minus l less than epsilon subject to this condition. So we always try to express this fx minus l, this expression, in terms of this x minus 2, or whatever is given here, mod of x minus a. And here you can see, if I take 2 common, then I can rewrite this as 2 into mod of x minus 2, because 2 is positive, there is no problem here. And we know that fx minus 7 must be less than epsilon whenever x minus 2 is less than delta. So if this condition is satisfied, then we have this is less than 2 delta. Okay, here it is important that we mention this is true only if mod of x minus 2 is less than delta. Okay, and from this we get the idea that if I choose delta, this delta is in my hand. Epsilon is given by the opposite person or some third person, or you can take any value of epsilon yourself also. And your job is to give delta so that whenever that condition mod of x minus a less than delta is satisfied, that is here in this case mod of x minus 2 is less than delta, then we must have mod of fx minus l less than epsilon. So this suggests if I choose delta is equal to epsilon by 2, if I put delta is equal to epsilon by 2 here, this becomes epsilon. Okay, or you can take some value of delta which is less than epsilon by 2 also. Just main thing is to make the difference mod of fx minus l is less than epsilon. Okay, so what I have proved here is thus, what I have proved that given any epsilon greater than 0, there always exists some delta for which that epsilon delta condition is satisfied. So thus we have proved that for every epsilon greater than 0, you can take delta is equal to epsilon by 2 or something less than that and positive, such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus 2 is less than delta, implies we have mod of fx minus L, which is 7 here, is less than epsilon. So this proves that limit as x tends to 2 of fx is 7. This thing is proved. Our function's fx is 2x plus 3. Okay, let us go to the next problem. The second one, some more interesting one. The problem is, prove that limit as x tends to 2, 2x plus 3 upon x minus 1 is equal to 7. Okay. Note that here we have the function fx is 2x plus 3 upon x minus 1. The point at which we want to discuss the limit is a equal to 2, and the value of the limit L, which is to be proved, is L equal to 7. And always remember, whenever you are required to prove that the limit of a function is something, you always check the epsilon delta condition, means check the definition, whether it satisfies the definition or not. So here also we start with an arbitrary positive number epsilon. So let epsilon greater than 0 be given. We want to find delta greater than 0 such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a, that is 2 here, is less than delta, implies mod of fx minus L, which is 7, is less than epsilon. So this is my aim. And remember, in verifying this condition, we always first consider fx minus 7, that is this expression. So let us begin with mod of fx minus 7. So consider mod of fx minus 7. What is it? Fx is 2x plus 3 upon x minus 1. So let me write down that expression. Say mod of 2x plus 3 upon x minus 1 minus 7. The first step in such kind of expression, that is a rational expression you can see here, always try to simplify this. So I will be taking LCM here, which is x minus 1, and then writing it, this will be minus 7 into x minus 1. You know, this is a simple rational expression simplification. So we get 2x minus 7x, that is minus 5x, and 3 minus minus 7, that is plus 7, so it gives us plus 10 upon x minus 1. Clearly, I can write minus 5 as a common factor from the numerator. So minus 5 into, I will get x minus 2 upon x minus 1. Using the properties of modulus, I can rewrite this as 5 times mod of, or let me write directly one more step. Instead of this, I will be writing this is equal to mod of x minus 2 upon mod of x minus 1. Remember that I am using this simple rules or properties of modulus, something like this. You know, mod of minus a is same as mod of a, or secondly, mod of a upon b you can write as mod a upon mod b. So we are using this type of properties of modulus function. Now we have shown that the expression fx minus 7 is equal to 5 times mod of x minus 2 upon x minus 1. Now in such expressions, always try to concentrate on denominator first. See, the basic idea here I am going to use is, if I make the denominator 1 upon this mod of x minus 1, that quantity less than some constant, then the problems becomes very simple. So what is my aim here is to make this 1 upon mod of x minus 1 less than some constant, okay. Just a minute, here it is mod of x minus 1. I want to make this quantity less than some constant. Once it is proved, suppose this constant is say 3, then what I will get is 1 upon mod of x minus, this quantity will be less than 5 into that constant into a mod of x minus 2. Let us see how to do this. And remember, we want to make this mod of fx minus 7 less than epsilon whenever this mod of x minus 2 is less than delta. So we are always have to make this fx minus l less than epsilon subject to the condition mod of x minus 2 is less than delta, so that our x falls in this interval. You know, it is 2 minus delta comma 2 plus delta. So I will be using that condition first. So let me write this as, say, result number 1. Okay, and let us take that condition. We have 0 less than mod of x minus a, that is 2 less than delta, which I can write as 2 minus delta less than x less than 2 plus delta. And remember that because of this strict inequality, x is not equal to 2. Now the next step is, as I told you, my aim is to make 1 upon mod of x minus 1 less than some constant. Okay, so I will try to bring x minus 1 here as that middle term in this inequality. So for that, first of all, subtract 1 from this inequality. So subtracting 1, what I will get is 2 minus 1. So that is 1 minus delta is less than x minus 1 less than 1 plus delta. So we'll get this thing if you subtract 1, because I want x minus 1 here. Now I want 1 upon x minus 1. So I'll be taking the reciprocal here. So if I take reciprocal, assuming everything is fine, if a less than b less than c is given, the reciprocal is 1 upon c less than 1 upon b is less than 1 upon a. So I'm writing by reversing this inequality as 1 upon 1 plus delta less than 1 upon x minus 1 less than 1 upon 1 minus delta. Okay, taking the reciprocal. So whenever 0 less than mod of x minus 2 less than delta is satisfied, I can write that 1 upon 1 plus delta less than this 1 upon x minus 1, it is less than 1 upon 1 minus delta. What I am interested is only in this second part in this inequality. Okay, I want to make 1 upon x minus 1 less than some constant. So delta is in my hand. Epsilon is given by some person and I want to find the delta so that that epsilon delta condition is satisfied. So how to choose delta so that 1 upon 1 minus delta is less than some constant? Okay, this delta you can take anything, but always take delta to be positive. Suppose I want to make, let us do some simple say calculation. Okay, what should be taken as delta? So if I choose my delta say less than some number, okay, less than say, or you can also think in a different way. Let me show you that also, but that always may not work. Say here, what I want to explain here is, suppose if I am making 1 upon 1 minus delta less than say 1, less than some constant say 1, then that gives me 1 minus delta is greater than 1 upon 1, which is again 1. So that gives me 0 is greater than delta. 1 will be cancelled, taking delta on this side. That means delta is less than 0. So this is wrong because we must have delta positive. So the constant 1 cannot be taken to have an upper bound of this expression 1 upon 1 minus delta. Let us try something else. So another idea is you can take 1 upon 1 minus delta say less than 1 by 2 or 1 by 3, something like that. You can try some different values. If you take reciprocal now, you will get 1 minus delta is greater than 2, and that gives you minus delta is greater than say 2 minus 1, that is 1, or I can say delta is less than minus 1. Again, this is also not a right value because you want delta to be positive. So let me try something more than 1. Say 1 upon 1 minus delta. If I want to show that this is less than say 2, for example. Now instead of 1, let me take a larger number. What will happen is 1 minus delta is greater than 1 by 2 if you take the reciprocal. If a less than b, then 1 upon a is greater than 1 upon b. So this gives me 1 minus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 2 is greater than delta. Or in other words, I can say delta is less than 1 by 2. So this suggests if I want to make this quantity 1 upon 1 minus delta less than 2, I must have my delta less than 1 by 2. So I can take any value of delta. So I can take some number which is positive and less than 1 by 2. So by this simple calculation, we can now understand that if I choose, if we take 0 less than delta less than 1 by 2, 0 less than delta less than 1 by 2, then I can show that 1 upon 1 minus delta, because this is true both the ways. This is true both the ways. See, 1 by 2 greater than delta, or delta is less than 1 by 2. That gives me this thing. So let me write this way. Then we get say delta less than 1 by 2 if and only if taking 1 minus, minus delta is less than minus 1, applying negative sign, we get minus delta is greater than minus 1 by 2. I want 1 minus delta. So 1 minus delta is greater than 1 by 2, and that gives me 1 upon 1 minus delta less than 2. Okay, so that is the same thing what I have worked out here. So this suggests taking delta less than 1 by 2 and positive, I have 1 upon x minus 1, this quantity, 1 upon x minus 1 will be less than 2. So thus 1 upon x minus 1, which is less than 1 upon 1 minus delta, is less than 2, provided 0 less than delta less than 1 by 2. So this is our second observation. Putting this value of 2 in result 1. What was the result 1? That was our simplification. See, mod of fx minus 7, we have proved it is equal to this 5 times x minus 2 upon x minus 1. So I am considering this again. Mod of fx minus 7 is equal to this thing. So from result 1, so from result 1, just a minute. Okay, so from result 1, we get mod of fx minus 7, which was 5 times mod of x minus 2 upon mod of x minus 1 is less than 5 into, say, 2 into mod of x minus 2 if delta is less than 1 by 2. This we are writing because of result number 1. This because of result number 2. Here it is. If I choose 0 less than delta less than 1 by 2, then 1 upon 1 minus delta is less than 2. So 1 upon x minus 1 is also less than 2. So this gives us, this is equal to 10 times x minus 2. Now it is very simple. Remember, we want to make mod of fx minus L less than epsilon, subject to the condition that 0 less than mod of x minus a, or rather x minus 2 here, is less than delta. So this gives me, this is less than 10 times, this is less than 10 times x minus 2 is less than delta, so this gives me less than 10 delta if mod of x minus 2 is less than delta, and that was our condition. So this suggests if I want to make fx minus 7 less than epsilon, I must choose delta either epsilon by 10 or something less than that. So this is less than, say, epsilon if my delta is less than epsilon by 10. Okay, so I have imposed two conditions on delta. The one condition is that it must be less than 1 by 2, and the second condition is delta must be less than epsilon by 10. I want both of them to be true in order to have this fx minus L less than epsilon. So what should be taken as the final value of delta? See, if you have some two conditions or two properties, that one condition is true for all numbers less than 1 by 2, and another condition is true, it is for all numbers less than, say, 3, then what you should do? You should take the minimum of the two numbers. Okay, so let me take delta is equal to minimum of, say, 1 by 2 and this epsilon by 10. If I take this, then two things follow, is that delta is positive and also that delta is less than 1 by 2 as well as delta is less than epsilon by 10. So this result and the previous one both holds true. So thus we can say that for every epsilon greater than 0 there exists delta as defined above. There exists delta greater than 0 such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a, that is 2, less than delta implies mod of fx minus L, which is 7, is less than epsilon. So this proves that limit x tends to 2 of the given function fx is 7. Okay, this is a good example. Always in functions which are rational expressions, always try to make the denominator less than some constant in that mod of fx minus L expression. Let us take another different type of example. Okay, so let me take the third problem. Say, prove that limit x tends to 2 of square root of 4x plus 1 is equal to 3. So first of all, note that here we have fx as a square root function, square root of 4x plus 1. The point at which we want to discuss the limit is a equal to 2 and the value of the limit is 3, L is equal to 3. We always write the first step as usual, that start with epsilon greater than 0 be given. Let epsilon greater than 0 be given. And we want to find delta greater than 0 such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a, that is 2, less than delta implies mod of fx minus L is less than epsilon. So this is our aim. As usual, we always concentrate on the expression mod of fx minus L. So consider the expression mod of fx minus L, that is mod of square root of 4x plus 1 minus 3. Okay. Remember, we want to make this quantity less than epsilon and subject to this condition for some delta. So delta is our job to find, so that whenever you choose any x in this interval that is satisfying the condition mod of x minus 2 less than delta, this expression mod of fx minus 3 is less than epsilon. Fine. So in order to use this condition mod of x minus 2 less than delta, what I am going to do here is I will try to simplify and bring this kind of expression x minus 2 here. So for that, let us multiply and divide by the conjugate surd of this expression, or conjugate expression. So it is 4x plus 1 minus 3. Okay, so I am multiplying and dividing by, if you have a minus b, you can multiply and divide by a plus b. So 4x plus 1 plus 3, and it is not there, so I must divide also by square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3. So doing this, what the advantage is, we can get rid of this square root in the numerator and see we'll get some useful expression. This is a minus b, this is a plus b. Simplifying this, we'll get a square minus b squared. So I am writing it is equal to 4x plus 1, the square root will be removed, minus b square, that is 9, upon this, upon mod of square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3. So we get this thing. The advantage is this is equal to, if you simplify it is 4x minus 8, and if I take 4 common, I am writing directly, it is 4 times x minus 2. So note that we are getting that x minus 2 over here. But the other problem is we are again getting a denominator in this expression, but there is no other simple way. So let me write this as, say, result number 1. Okay. See, again, let us repeat what I have done here, a minus b, a plus b. So I am using the formula a square minus b squared. So a square is 4x plus 1 and b square is 9. And this 1 minus 9 is minus 8, and taking 4 common, I will get 4 times x minus 2. Now my next aim is to get rid of this denominator, as we have done in the previous example. So for that, we concentrate on this condition, mod of x minus 2 is less than delta, and we'll see whether I can make 1 upon square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3 less than some constant or not. So for consider mod of x minus 2 less than delta. Let me write here. Now mod of x, or rather 0 less than mod of x minus 2 less than delta, that gives me 2 minus delta less than x less than 2 plus delta. And remember, x is not equal to 2. Okay. I want to have this expression here as the middle term, 4x plus 1 square root and then plus 3. So we have to go in order. First multiply this by 4. So what I will get here is, if I multiply by 4, multiply this inequality by 4, we'll get 8 minus 4 delta less than 4x less than 8 plus 4 delta. Now let us add 1 according to our requirement. So we'll get 9 minus 4 delta less than 4x plus 1 less than 9 plus 4 delta. So adding 1 in this inequality, we'll get this thing. Okay. So this is something 4x plus 1. I want to take the square root also. But before I take the square root, let me use some other idea. One can take the square root if everything is positive, but we don't know what about the number delta. Okay, depends on delta. So this need not be positive. I should choose the number delta to be positive, and so that I can take the square root very easily. I want to take the square root of 4x plus 1 and make it less than some constant. Okay. Okay, so this will be the main case. So if I choose 9 minus 4 delta is equal to, say, 4, what I will get is phi is equal to 4 delta, and that gives me delta is equal to, say, phi by 4 greater than 0. Let us try this number and see what happens here. So if I choose my delta is equal to phi by 4, if we take delta is equal to phi by 4 greater than 0, then from this 9 minus 4 delta less than 4x plus 1. Okay, first let us concentrate on this. We'll give you 9 minus 4 times phi by 4, because I have already taken the particular value of delta here. is less than 4x plus 1. So the main basic idea is take something so that I can take the square root of that final simplification or simplified number very easily. This gives me 9 minus 5, which is equal to 4. So I will be writing directly. So this 4 gets cancelled and we'll get 9 minus 5 is equal to 4 less than 4x plus 1. Okay, so this will be cancelled. And now I can take the square root of this. So 2 is less than square root of 4x plus 1. So the basic idea for taking delta is equal to 5 by 4 is to get some perfect square in place of this 9 minus 4 delta. Because I want to find square root of 4x plus 1. So that's why I have chosen delta is equal to 5 by 4 by some observation. Now adding 3 on both the sides because we want 3 there. So 2 plus 3 is 5 is less than square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3. And now taking the reciprocal here, what I will get is 1 upon square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3 is less than 1 upon 5. See, A is less than B, so 1 upon B is less than 1 upon A. Okay. So that is the useful thing what we have obtained here. Okay, let us call it double star. So what we have done so far, let us see and go back. I have started with fx minus 3 here, that I have proved that it is equal to 4 times this thing, and then I have concentrated on this denominator, and I have proved that if I choose delta to be delta is equal to 5 by 4, then this 1 upon 4x plus 1 plus 3 can be made less than 1 upon 5. So from result number 1 and this result number double star, we can write down what is fx minus L. So therefore, we have mod of fx minus L, that is 3, which is equal to 4 times, which we have proved in the result number 1, 4 times x minus 2 upon square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3. Okay, this was our result number 1. So I am writing because of 1. This is less than 4 upon 5 times x minus 2 if I take delta is equal to 5 by 4, and also we have used the fact that mod of x minus 2 is less than delta. Okay, so this will be less than, finally less than 4 by 5 times delta. Okay, again if mod of x minus 2 is less than delta. Okay, this we are writing from our observation given in double star. So this gives me the idea that I should choose delta is equal to 5 by 4 times epsilon or something less than that. So this is less than epsilon if I take delta to be less than 5 by 4 into epsilon. Okay, so we can make here mod of fx minus 3 less than epsilon with respect to the various conditions. So one condition is this: delta is less than 5 by 4 times epsilon. Let me highlight this. Say this is one condition. Another condition is delta is equal to 5 by 4. Where is it? Yes, delta is equal to 5 by 4 is the another value of delta, and I want everything must hold simultaneously. So I must choose minimum of delta is equal to 5 by 4 and 5 by 4 times epsilon. So taking delta is equal to taking delta is equal to minimum of 5 by 4 and 5 by 4 times epsilon greater than 0, we get the required condition satisfied. That whenever you choose any x satisfying the condition that 0 less than mod of x minus a, which is 2 here in our case, less than delta, this will imply mod of fx minus L, that is 3, is less than epsilon. So this proves that limit as x tends to 2, f of x is equal to 3. Okay, so this limit is proved. So we have seen some examples of limit of a function, how to prove using the definition or using the epsilon delta condition. Okay, in the next lecture we are going to see some basic properties of this definition of limit, and also we'll be proving working rules. So thank you.